Hi, I'm going to talk to you about multiplying polynomials. There are several types of multiplication that we're going to talk about throughout this section, so I'm going to first talk to you about how to multiply a monomial and a polynomial. And I want you to review these types of problems that we had earlier in Chapter 4 with exponent problems. So if I have 2x squared times x, do you remember that to multiply 2x squared times x, I can multiply that as 2, and then x squared times x, since they're the same base, we can add their exponents to get x to the third. Likewise, 3x squared times 5x is the same thing as 3 times 5, which is 15, x squared times x, which is x to the third. 7x times negative 2x, the 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. X times x is x to the second because there's an understood 1 as a power on each of those. So the other thing you need to know before we get into multiplying a monomial and a polynomial is the distributive property, which is A times a sum or difference C. We distribute the outer expression to each of the terms inside parentheses to get A times B plus A times C. So to multiply a monomial by a polynomial, you're going to use the distributive property along with the product rule for x. And that again was if you have x to the m times x to the n, we add to get x to the m plus. So some example problems. 2x times 3x plus 4. We would distribute 2x, 6, x, 2x times positive 4 would be plus 8x. And here again, don't invent any rules. These are not like, so you can't combine that any further. 5x squared times 2x squared plus 7x minus 3. We distribute the 5x squared to each of the terms. Polynomial. 5x squared times 2x squared is 10x to the fourth. 5x squared times 7x is 35x to the third. Then 5x squared times negative the negative 15x squared. Now if I have negative 7y times 4y squared minus y plus 1, I distribute to each of those terms. Just watch your signs. Negative 7y times 4y squared is a negative 28. Be careful here, y to the third, right? Y is understood 1. So when we multiply, we add the powers. Negative 7y times negative y is a positive 7y squared, right, because of 1 and the 1. Negative 7y times 1 is a negative 7y. So this is the first step to understanding how to multiply polynomials, to be able to multiply a monomial and a polynomial together. In my next video, I'm going to talk about how do you multiply a polynomial times a polynomial. Thanks.